Morning everyone, it's Dave at The Imperfect Individual, and I want to talk this morning about the information war and about the importance of us limiting the amount of information that we consume. So, are we in an information war? I think we've been in an information war of sorts for a number of decades, but it's one that's intensified. First of all, with the advent of 24-hour rolling news coverage, and then of course the social media revolution, Facebook and Twitter particularly. YouTube's a little bit different. Different type of platform, and what its viewers want when they're engaging, and what its creators are trying to do when they're creating. But information, previous generations across the ages, across the world, across the various epochs in human history, have been enslaved by guns and bullets. Those tyrannies are always temporary. In the end, peace and freedom returns. Information's different though, because information is something that is quite easy to generate, whether it's information relating to something that's real or false. Quite easy to repeat. And quite easy to circulate, very, very easily actually, and that's of course exactly what's happening. And many of us end up in a place where we literally don't know what's real and what's not. And for everything that we maybe personally think that seems genuine, there'll be someone else saying that's fake news. There'll be someone else saying he's a shill, she's a shill. They're controlled opposition. You get what I'm saying? And what it's done is it's contributed to, not to a paranoia in society, although there is a little bit of paranoia in society, but more to a sense of disenchantment with regards to the concept of the truth. There's no underlying unifying truth when it comes to information and how it can be weaponized, which is why many of my recent videos that I've done, I've talked about. Last video I talked about England, so 2-1 the other night. That was a tense game. That wasn't a penalty, but anyway, who cares? It's the right result. When there's something for people to coalesce around that's not information, so for example football, or a movement, a spiritual movement, which of course is what I know a lot of us are feeling at the moment, and there's so much emotional turmoil. Being part of that and observing as it happens within us, as it occurs within us, as we manage to realise that we can shift states, we can change our perception, we can access deeper and more profound levels of consciousness. It's very true. But leaving the old ways of processing and observing and feeling behind, and moving to something that is on a higher plane, it's quite a traumatic experience. As you burn away the last of the things that didn't serve you, burn away the lies, burn away the last bit of burn away the discord and allow space for something new and more abundant to form. And if we're consuming too much information whilst in parallel to that, then it's going to result in even more conflict within us and in society. And I'm creating this video for myself as much as for anybody, any of the subscribers or anyone who sees this video, because it's something that I need to remember frequently, this crucial importance of limiting information. Because if you're not careful, information can change your sense and shift your state quite radically for the worse. Hi. Oh, yeah. Cheers. So, and let me know if you understand where it is that I'm coming from here. We can quickly get wrapped up in, I've got to know exactly what's going on, what's being said, with the, I was going to say thousands, millions of, I'm not on Facebook anymore, but millions of Facebook groups, Telegram groups, all of the different opinions that are being churned out constantly. Many of them, as I've remarked in previous videos, regurgitated information. Now for me, of course, information's important, but it does need to be limited. And what can our unifying truth be for me? And what is potentially going on right now? Well, for me, the unifying truth is one of awareness, authenticity, and yes, truth, awareness and authenticity. Awareness is, that's what I try and do with creating this content, because it's something totally unique. It's nobody else's opinion, it's mine. Some days I probably just babble and don't say much, but I'm trying to say something. So that's the awareness, is being aware, you know, aware of our existence on this, inexplicable existence on this planet, a speck of dust in the universe, and taking the reins of controlling what we can and surrendering to what we can't. That's the awareness. And the authenticity. The world needs authenticity so much at the moment, which is why it's amazing that more and more people are realising, actually, I will say what I think. I need to say what I think. The world needs me to say what I think. To become who we really are, that's authenticity. So you align the authenticity to the awareness. And that there is truth. That there is your truth, it's your story. Stories are important. Stories bind together our lives and our experiences on an individual and societal level. And the story, we've got to be careful that our story isn't someone else's story, or isn't 1,000 other people's story, because the moment that we become enslaved by information, you might see something on Twitter that makes your blood boil. You might see someone for the millionth time just forwarding on something that there's no way of knowing whether it's real or not. You might, for the millionth time, see someone predicting apocalyptic outcomes. Right? It's, as I've remarked before, absolutely, we need to be aware of what worst case scenario could potentially be, but not obsess over it. Don't obsess over anything. We have to do this. This is how the world heals, by individuals. That's how tyrannies are brought down, by individuals being authentic and being aware. So I would say to people, you know, be careful what you share. You know, I always say create, don't curate. Or create, don't regurgitate, I should say, probably. Because it instantly makes you feel like you are taking the control. you are exerting your own personal power, which serves you, and to some extent, hopefully, the wider world. Not spending all of our time worrying, obsessing, and getting angry about what other people may or may not be saying, information they may or may not be sharing. And let's remember, we can always dip out of the information war whenever we want. It's actually also enslave ourselves when it comes to information. We enslave ourselves by engaging with it too much, by treating it with too much respect, by giving it too much authority and power over us. Like I say, this video, I'm talking to myself. Let me know if you relate to all of this though. And again, let me say, awareness, authenticity and truth. So there we go. That's today's message. Look for the unity wherever you can find it. Look for the harmony. We don't need to be scrolling mindlessly, reading about the latest person's doom-laden prophecies for what's going to happen. Yeah, we know it all now. And one of the reasons why we're in this mess is because, as a society, we have allowed those who are obsessed with doom-laden scenarios, apocalyptic, worst-case thinking, to assume the reins of power right across the board. Because what that does then, it gives an excuse to change society, which is of course what's happened, for the worse. So let's not ourselves fall into that trap. Remove ourselves from the information war, and let's remember there is still, no matter how bleak the circumstances which are improving, in my opinion. There's always got to be room for hope. There's got to be. So there we go. If you do like this video and you want to see more content, please do subscribe to The Imperfect Individual, and give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think about what I've just said, and I will speak to you all tomorrow, I'm sure. Have a good one. Bye bye.